Hypothetical situation, of course. I mean, this is just a basic thought. I'm not absolutely here to do any numbers at all. I'm not even going to show you the diamonds I drew and where they show up. And if Christ is nearby, and if they see, I see, you see, that means we see. Well, that can come now, or I can show it to you later because I'm not finally finished with it. I had a decision to make tonight, to answer a question or not to answer a question. We have a dream when we grow up. Whatever the dream is, that is the desire of the dream. When we finally get to meet the action of the dream that we had only in our mind come true, it wasn't all it hyped out to be. Do we continue on in the same area of the dream and live that life we no longer dreamt for and to go somewhere else? What are we actually letting go at this moment? Is there anything that's ever going to change? If you don't change, then the dream that you've dreamt that came once and went will come again and go again. To satisfy one is sometimes to satisfy others. Is it going bad at home? Difficulty to talk to your wife? Impossible to negotiate a way to understand? I've been down that road. It's insanity. When you try to say, this is what I see, what do you see? What you see, I don't see. What I see, you don't see. But you got to find a harmonization. It's got to be like a child. You put that diaper on. So you must sit there and try to communicate and understand the visions. It doesn't mean you need to accept the other ones. They do it their way, you do it your way. But infidelity, it doesn't matter, infidelity. If you're fetal, what is the difference? You both are going to have your freedom at one point or another, whether you're at 45, whether you're at 31, or whether you're at 75. But why wait for 95 when you can have your freedom inside your relationship if the relationship is based on honesty? And an understanding of honesty comes only in a friendship. The rule of love comes only in a friendship. You cannot ever get married to anybody unless they become your best friends, unless they are your actual shadow. And what's so good about the shadow is when you're a little bit on this side, they can be way on the other side and still reflect you because they understand you. So they let you be. That's what it is. When we have gangs and groups go because they always hurrah, hurrah, and accept what the other ones do. Well, when you're doing it and you're not in a gang and you're just two, you got to do it the same way. But if you have a dream and you want to go out and live that dream, if you know there's not going to be a loss and it has nothing to do with a marriage inside, then you go out for that dream, business or not. If you're in business and you have another idea for a business, your partner should be understanding and say go, or say, hey, we want to be part of it. But you can't stop yourself, because in this life, God built this whole thing based on a dream. And then he drew up the blueprints. Do you understand? God drew up the blueprints. And what did we get? Blue Earth. But you know, I had a funny thing today, a revelation that came back. And for a long time, I kept repeating this to myself. Okay, you want to see what happened to my foot? Can you see that? I don't know if I should go to the hospital. This long thing with teeth, big teeth, huge teeth, dropped on me. Yeah, it was an angle iron. It was a piece of metal. And on an angle, it's a point. You know, a lot of things on an angle, they got a point. Have you ever looked on paint and drawn a line? If you draw the line across, it doesn't show any jaggedy lines. But if you go on paint and you draw it on an angle, you're going to see jaggedy lines in it because of the horizontal, vertical, the way it's set up. Now, I don't know if it's only on my computer, but regardless, whether it's my computer or your computer, the best computer, the worst computer, every single formation of computer is another formation of creation, another place, another level, one where it's more jaggedy because it doesn't matter, one where, you know what I'm saying? Because wherever the matrix is set up, okay, if you go on that angle, you see we're on this angle. We're on that 7 angle. I know, because I saw the moon go down tonight. I saw the sun come up. I saw it go way up, came all the way down, and move all the way across the sky. Now all that is impossible because the sun didn't move anywhere. The earth has been moving. I saw the earth in 15 minutes move this much. It was insane. So where are we going to go next? The dice, 4 corners. From here to here in Monopoly would be 10. From here to here is 10, here to here is 10. Not only that, every dot on the dice has a value of 5. 5 and 5 is 10. 20, 30, 40. We went around the board of Monopoly and the 40 spaces. Oh no! There's the diamond fields. Superman diamonds with the train track Jesus Christ coming through 5, 6, and 7. But at the same time, okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But off the corner, the train tracks is the 5th one between every 9. So this one has to say 4, 5, and 6 on one level, and then 5, 6, and 7 on the other level, and then these two levels connect in numbers, whether it's here or here or here. Now what you have to know about Monopoly is there's this side and this side constitutes with the number 8 having a property and not having the chance or community chess on it. I didn't finish the complete formation of it, but it does tell a story. And you know what's really funny? A girl is out there right now. She did something exactly what I'm doing, but because mine is based on creation, she used the letters of people's names. And what she did was quite good because it was all positive. You got to do all the positive. Nobody did the negative yet, but I'm going to work on that. Not because I want to be against it, because I want to balance it. I want to understand what both sides of the letters say. Why should we only go one way? Doesn't mean we can't have a party. I mean, we can talk about all the shittiest things in life and have a great time. We can talk about all the greatest things in life and have a shitty time. Everything's about shit in this world. People are full of shit. Your mouth is full of shit. Wash your mouth out with soap. Anyways, and then everybody uses ivory. Ivory what? White what? Pearls white? Ivory? Ivory tusks? What is it about the pearl and the ivory and the white? I'd like to know, okay, in the back of our brain, I want to know what the hardest element that there is there, and I want to know what color it is. But you know what gave me a thought? Is my mother had stones inside of her, and they were so white, those stones. It's like the stones of the Holy Ghost. Anyways, where are we off to now? So now I'm going to start working on these Monopoly corners. We were talking about this. But if you add them at 5 each, the total is 20, and the average is 5. 5 and 2. The Mayans again, how they count. Everything is 5. You can't have, nothing moves. If you don't put the space between the two cars, nothing moves. There's as much, if there's 5 areas of life, there's 4 places of empty space. Okay? Or travel. And if there's not, it's on 2 levels. 5 is on one level, 4 is on the other level. I can't explain it. I just can't explain exactly the way it is. I mean, the way the, you know what, the I, half of it is a C, and if you turn it this way, it's an H. It says chi. I do not know what it means. It might be in Greek. It might be in the Mayans. I don't know. But this is one of the places they have to get it. See where the I comes from in here? When you join from here to here, it creates the I. You created the corners. We can't go up and down here because that's where your head goes. And you got to have space to walk. This is 2, 4, 6, and 8. You're 4 and 6, and your mind is 2. And your heaven is the 8, what's between your legs. The empty space that lets you move your feet. If we didn't have the empty space, we move back into space and say, hey, God, it's cold up here. He says, don't worry. He says, I'm going to wind up a couple of these spirals, a couple of P's, a couple of C's. We're going to flip over one, make it hook in the back. We'll call it a hook jack. Yeah, we'll get those spirals to turn. Then we'll get Einstein to come here and give it a name. He called it the Big Bang. Well, holy fuck, we all know it was the Big Bang. Give it a goddamn name. What name did they give the Big Bang? Somebody must have given a name. You know what's so great about this in my book is I'm so fucking stupid. I don't know. There's probably hundreds of names out there, but I wouldn't know. I told you, my average in school was less than 50. I don't know how I got out. I even got one of them trophy papers. I should go dig one up and show everybody. Oh my God, insanity. Insanity. I love school. I used to run down the street and say, I said, it's really cold outside. The cleaning lady's in the house. Mrs., you don't want to hear this? Okay, and everybody knows I talk about Jack, right? Jack about everything in this world. It's crazy. And our cleaning lady was Mrs. Jacobs. It was insanity. And you know what's even crazier? The shul I go to is Beth Jacob. My sister had a child. She called him Jacob. Oh, holy God. I said, you eating corn on the cob? She says, no, Jay don't eat that stuff. Hey, you only have to say one part of it. And everybody knows J is an angel. AJ, because J comes with the A after it. The J consonant is first. Hey, look at me. I'm Jack and John. I'm John Smith. You know why? Because that's a spirit number. It's the I birth. Hello, I'm Smith. But everybody really knows Smith and the return of the Sith. The last dragon, I sort of call it. Hey, guy, don't turn on your lights in the back there. I see his eyes getting all red. See his eyes getting all red? You can't see my eyes. I'm too fucked up for you to see my eyes. And if you can see my eyes, oh my God, what imaginary world are you in? Because I'm coming. Just open the door and let me slide my way in. Electronic angel resident in French, electronic résident. The one in French, you know, they're always higher. God treats it that way too. You know, God treats every religion's expressions with their own understanding tied to it. Do you understand? I want a cigarette. Can I have a cigarette? I want to tell you one thing. If you want to go out there, you got something to do, and people don't understand, you got to get your wings and go. Well, my friend, get your wings and go. Do as you have to do, because tomorrow it's too late. It's over tomorrow. We all know the joke and the fun we have with tomorrow never comes, but it's not that tomorrow never comes. The action of your expression only comes with the real action, not only the action of thought. You got to, don't hurt anybody, don't steal from anybody. If you got to do it, people will fall. Will it make the world a better place? Will you feel comfortable that you'll make more people feel comfortable? Will you, if you make good money, will you donate it or invest in people on the street to help them out, to bring them a coat on a cold Saturday night, go out with 3 guys in a couple of duffel bags with coats and pass out hats on Christmas or something? You know what I'm saying? If you're not going to do anything with your dream that's going to help anybody else, then the actual dream that you're in is not reality. God put us into this world, and there's certain spaces we just have to come to a stop. And that stop is forever, because God is in our heart, and the understanding and truth. Okay, the understanding the truth of what it means to be joined. Ring the book, ring circus. This is some sort of a Disneyland pay-as-you-go system we live in, where love and war seems to be at the end of every fight. You're always making up, and it tastes just as good as before. Because when we understand, it's so much easier to love. When the difference, you see, in love, you want the difference to be as solid as ice, where you can chip away at it. Not really only for that, but love needs to fill the cracks. It doesn't need any separation of freedom. You are bonded as one. The minute that ice cracks in half and you guys are separated, you must find a way to gel together again. Because it's you two, you've been together. Okay, guys, you want to go out? I mean, you want to go out with the boys and get in trouble? Well, your wife doesn't really want you to get in trouble, and I don't think you want her to get in trouble either. So we have to live with these things. It's just, that's the way it is. But if it's your mother or your brother, well, it's not your life, it's their life, and they can do what they want with their life as you can do what you want with their life, because it's not your wife. You didn't marry your brother. You didn't marry your father, and you didn't marry your brother. But you married your wife. And your kids, if you don't watch for them today, it's not what you think today. In years down the line, when you're 70, you may have ugly thoughts for 20 years. For the last final years of your life, You don't want any of those thoughts. Everybody says screw that, but that's not true. Okay? So will that take you away from going for your dreams? Absolutely not. If that's what takes away from going for your dreams, then somebody is putting pressure on you. Because like I said, if you need to go away, I've heard of so many situations. I mean, they teach you so much in the movies, right? Online. I learned so much online. Like, I remember the American flag. I love America flag, yeah. And George Bush, oh my God, what a great guy that was. Um, and the colored guy, what's his name, that colored guy? Barney or something? Oh, Barney? Obama, right, right. They had Obama there. I was listening to George Carlin. He was talking about George Bush. I think it was the senior one. You know why they had to put S and R, obviously, for 19 and 18, right? The letters in the alphabet, total of 37. You know why? Because it took 2 to make 21. How do you do that? 10 and a half each. That's all they were worth. They talk about 9/11. There is no 10 and a half. 10 and a half talks about the game you're in. So even that joke didn't work. So they got Obama there. Oh my God, I love him. I love him in both sizes. I love Obama. I love him when he's 5'6", and I love him when he's 5'9". I mean, they're both beautiful Obamas. I don't know how he does it, but and his wife, she seems to like to stay to one side more than the other side. And before she actually turns waves and smiles, she sort of turns her eye out to the side, and she's watching the audience as she's going by with the flag. Does anybody know what the flag is? I never showed anybody. But the reason for the cornerstone of the American flag is because of certain letters in the alphabet. Nobody else can possibly know it because I made it up all by myself. Just me. And the biggest letter it actually says to me, okay, it makes up the letter of AJ and the hat of the Jack. I'm going to see if I got the cards here, but I got to like buy 100,000 cards because, you know what, there's not enough picture cards in here. I know all the other cards. I still have to study the picture cards. Maybe that's what I should do. I should put out a big promotion and ask somebody to help me. Here we are. Here's part of us. Here's Jupiter. I figure this would be Jupiter, and he's just turning the wheels of these two, and that's our reflection. Okay, where's the Jack? I can show you this Jack, but he doesn't have anything up here. No band. Anyways, forget about that. Right now, another question would be, what were we talking about? Having a cigarette, right. Okay, I know most of you probably, you know what happens with my videos? By the time it gets to the 6-minute mark, there's usually nobody left on 90% of my videos. And so actually right now, I'd probably be talking to myself at this very moment. Now, my big thing is, I don't know where my cigarettes are. So we'll not have to smoke, or we're going to smoke and find no cigarette. No cigarette? Okay. Yeah, so we were talking about the American government, and you know what I came up with? I mean, just the easiest thing. I mean, if you get rid of all the laws, we can get rid of all the criminals. Then we don't have to spend $50,000 a year. You go ahead and you go to every single criminal. You go, you were in here for pot? We're going to give you $25,000 a year for 3 years until you get yourself on your feet. Okay, and that's well, it's 50,000 if he stays in jail, and it's 25,000 if it's free. You know what I'm saying? So you pay them all off. Pay all the criminals. Then all those crooked officers that are in the prisons, okay, well, they won't have a job, so they won't ever get in trouble again or have to do anything crooked. So you pay them also. You give them a bonus. Sure, you got to give all the officers a bonus for staying in there. I mean, you're saving money anyways. You're getting rid of them. They're losing their job. So we have no more laws. So now what do we do? Well, we do have laws. I was just getting rid of the stupid laws. Okay? Everybody knows there's 5 laws in the world, and that's it. Okay? Nobody beats anybody else. Nobody takes advantage of anybody else. Okay? The basic law of stealing is not half as bad as what you do to them when they are put away. How many laws should there be? What, because he slept with somebody else? All this thing about everybody being sued, it's such insanity. If it was set up properly, we wouldn't need all these things. I couldn't even explain, but for every person that's in Montreal, okay, you know there's another 100 suffering somewhere else. So we're lucky. Now we've got the 22 minutes. You got a dream, my friends. Go out and do it. But like I said, it's got to be in good taste. Doesn't matter if you fail. Big deal. Try, try, try. You know what happens? If you got two cards and I have two cards and you threw all your money in and I throw my money in, one time you'll win, one time I'll win. Doesn't matter what the cards are. That's what's going to happen. So you got to go out, you got to throw it all into the middle and go. Because if you miss, you know you can only succeed if you continue on. If you know what you are like inside, okay, can I say the esteem to force forward, to make function whatever your ideas. How well did you think about it? Did you speak to anybody about it? Are you doing it on your own? I mean, some things people just know naturally. Well, if you naturally just know, you know what? Just go. Just go. You know that? Just go. If you got to do something, just go and do it. Everybody's always going to say something, but it's not their life. And you're not disrupting your life, but you're doing what you want by not disrupting anybody else. And it's not a stupid thing like I said, oh, my husband didn't come home till 9 o'clock last night. Oh, my husband went bowling. My husband went drinking. Well, you know what? My girlfriend hasn't come home in 3 weeks. And when she comes home, if the door's locked, and she knows not to come back again. So you already know how deep you can go and how deep your friendship is, because some people go away for 6 months. And you know what the worst thing is? When you cheat, right? When you cheat, it's funny when you cheat, right? Imagine if you didn't cheat. Now that's a fucking goal. Not cheating is a goddamn goal. You want to succeed in something, you make one friend forever, and you make sure she's your friend. But if she's not, then you're not friends anymore, and then you're not cheating, and then you can play the field. Do you understand what I'm trying to say in everything? To not giving space to one is a cheat. Taking away from one just because it's not the vision of your vision. I'm not talking about cheating on anybody. It's cheating on a relationship. Cheating on being able to become friends. You're married to show it's a Superman ring. You're married. You know what I'm saying? We're bonded. We're going to fucking get through this thing through hell or high water. Well, what hell or high water should there be? What can happen? What can happen? You fall down, you get up. Somebody hits you in the eye, you make sure you don't pass on that street again. What can actually happen? There's a death. Okay, it happens everywhere. Yet what can actually happen? The happiness takes two. If you're unhappy, there's always that reason. Always understand your reason. If you do not learn your reason, then the future will bring on the same reason and the same unhappiness with somebody or another in another place. Raphael 7286.